Hey guys, Rilhon here. Welcome back to another episode of the tutorial series. Today we're going to continue work here on the Lusitania. So where we left off, we're going to continue with the lifeboats on the sides here. We're going to be working on adding in some skylights. That's kind of a big part of the ship's profile, so we kind of need to get those in there. We're going to want to add in the vents up on the, I suppose it's called sun deck. Up here, we want to add in the rigging for the funnels and the masts, also add in the windows on the bridge to give the ship her face, so to speak, and then finally we'll be adding in the propellers and the rudder. So that is the plan for today, so let's get right into it. So the first thing here we'll do is to begin work on the lifeboats and the davits. So we have the positions here marked out from the last episode. So we'll just do pretty much the same design as the ones on the Olympic class. So let's begin here in the bow and the stern of it. We have the stair and the quartz pillar in the front, and then there's the quartz pillars in the stern. Bring this back here in the bottom. On the sides, add in some slabs like this, so you get this shape. And then here, on all four blocks towards the front and the end, like that, so you get kind of a curvy shape to the boat. On the inside, add in some stairs, and finally add in quartz pillars on the sides, so that's the general shape you want to the boat. Then you can add in this oak trim on the top. Make sure you use both slabs and trapdoors to make it kind of curvy like that, and also let's add in some tripwire hooks. Finally we can add in the sign here on the back. Just type in Liverpool both sides, and then here there was kind of a round shape. I'm not sure what this was. You can see it in photographs of the boats. Just add that. I just use a bottom to represent that. You can put it here if you want as well. Next you can add in some canvas on the top to cover up the boat's interiors. Gonna mix in some birch to give it some detail, and that's pretty much the boat done. So let's add in the davits. So it's up to you if you want to use birch fences or if you want to use direct walls. In the new update, of course, you can use the new white wood. I personally will use the fences because I think it's a little bit more accurate in terms of how thin they are. They're supposed to be roughly the same thin levels as the promenade deck supports. So yeah, make this a little bit curved here on top, something like this maybe. That's pretty good. And may also make it curve in, something along these lines. And make sure you add in a rope there in the middle so they connect. And that's pretty much it. So let me just copy this over to all the lifeboat stations and we'll be right back. So those are all the 16 lifeboats done. I'm gonna mention here, you can see the shear goes up a bit, so it kind of makes this lifeboat a little bit weird, but it's kind of what you have to deal with. But this is also a good opportunity to add in slabbed shear, so we did that on the Olympic class as well. But basically what I like to do is I select one level here, one section, and I use the WorldEdit command middle and then sea lantern, so this is the middle. You can just measure this manually if you want, of course. Replace birch planks with birch slab, and that's that slabbed. You can also add in black stone slabs here to make the deck curve from the side, like this. Up to you if you want to do that. Kind of tricky here to find the middle because this level here technically goes from this point all the way back here. So what we just want to do here is use this beam of blocks here to determine the middle, so it's here. So if there's two blocks, I just take the aft one and replace those with slabs. It's this section slabbed here, including the boat deck. Around here, the deck actually goes up a bit, so do not slab this here, because the deck basically just rises up, so that would not require any slabbing. And the same goes, of course, for here. And let's do this as well. So find the middle, so we have there. For this point, it's just slab. That's the shear added in there. And now typically for deck houses, I always try to make the decks slabbed because I like that it's a little bit more detailed, I suppose, when the deck goes down a bit. Plus around deck houses like this, mainly in larger scales, if you have slabs, you can add in this detail on the floor, on the very bottom of the walls, which is a nice way of detailing. So that's why I did it like this. I didn't do slabs on the roof of the second class lounge or the bridge though, so it's kind of up to you when you want to do slabs basically. But yeah, that is the decking completely detailed, so let's move on to the next thing we want to do, which is going to be building the propellers and the rudder. So we'll begin with the propeller shafts here. So we have those helpfully lined up here in the hold plan of these plans here. So we're basically just going to again trace this deck. The length of this deck you want to take from roughly this point, like the very aftmost portion of the area over the rudder, and then go all the way forward to the bow at the same level, 248 blocks in my case. So here we have this traced out. I marked the propeller shafts out so it's easier to see, and then we 238. So that's the propeller shafts. You can mark them out to make it a little bit easier, something along those lines. And also to get the height level, you can just use this plan that we used in the first episode and yeah, get it drawn out. So that's what I've done here. So let's begin here, putting in the propeller shafts. So we go 10 blocks from this point. So that's this point here. And then when we go 4 blocks from the bottom of the ship, so that's there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this block. Then we also want to go out 5. Yeah, so the 5th one, including in the middle. So that is where the first propeller is supposed to be located. And then the aft one is 34 blocks from this point here. And the same here, 4 blocks up, and then it's supposed to be 10 blocks out from the middle, this one here. Now to add in the propellers, so we're going to have 2 blocks here after the propeller shaft, and we're going to reuse the propellers that we did for the Olympic class. Those work pretty well, I'd say. So we'll add in the first blade here, actually going down like that, yes. Like that, these 4 blocks, and then on top, we have this there, this there, this there, and that block. And then we have a block here, as well as 2 stairs, a sandstone wall, and then 2 trapdoors like that. So let me just copy this over to all of the 3 propeller shafts and I'll be right back. Alright, so that's all the propellers added. Let's add in the rudder here in the middle. So let's add a sort of differentiation between the hull itself and the rudder. So around the borders here we're going to add in a mangrove wood here leading down to the keel like that. Then you want to add in the rudder. We outlined this in episode 1, so you can use the profile tracing to know how it's supposed to be shaped. But yeah, sort of like this, sort of like a stomach, honestly, or like a bean. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, let's fill this in. There we go, and let's detail it a bit. So this is kind of angled where the propeller meets the hull here, so we'll do this roughly, so the rudder is kind of angled, and we're going to move this back actually 1 step, and here is where the rudder sort of connects and turns from this point. So we'll replace this with terracotta, and I also want to shape this into mangrove as well, just so we have that separating line there, something like that. And then we want to make this more thick, like that. Do that a sign there actually. Then let's detail the rudder itself. Oops. With these, I don't know what these are called. I just basically call them seams, because that is usually where the rudder. It's not one big piece of steel. The rudder is often cast in separate pieces, and then they are basically welded together or riveted together through these seams. We also want to add this in here. We can also, finally, if we want, make it a little bit more smooth like this. Add some trapdoors here. Next thing here we're going to do is to outline and then build all of the skylights and all of the cargo hatches. So what I've done is I've traced the profile. So you can see an example, we have the skylights here, big one, and then there are some here as well here in the stern. I recommend probably doing this deck, these 2 hatches on the forecastle deck here in the front, and then here in the very back there is another hatch or like a skylight. That's easier to see if you use the deck plans. There's also some skylights here. I have taken the profile and outlined them all those. You can use this if you want. I'll be providing this in the description as usual. But yeah, let's put all of these into the game. So beginning here with the forecastle deck, we have the 2 forward cargo hatches. So if you're also building in the scale, it is 23 blocks from the very front. You have a small cargo hatch here, 3x3 blocks. Just build it up. Something like this. Right in front of this hatch there is kind of a small cruise entranceway, something like that. It's kind of a small scale though, so we can't really add a door, unless of course we cheat with WorldEdit and then do this here. And then 10 blocks after this is another hatch, identical to the one that we did over there. Let's add in all of the bridge windows. In the middle we want to add in 2 slabs like this, and then on these ones let's add in some stairs going around like that, and then some more slabs. Do this on both sides. Now in real life Lusitania actually had 11 windows compared to just 5 here, but yeah, this is kind of hard to do in this scale, so better this than having 1 large window in the middle and then just doing this, in my opinion. But yeah, that's up to you. On top of the bridge there are 2 small skylights, so again it's kind of hard with this scale, but this is how I like to do skylights. Use spruce trapdoors going around like this. remove the blocks and then add in oak trapdoors. Between the two funnels there is another small skylight. It's pretty much the same size as the ones on the bridge, but a little bit longer. So roughly this size, and then just add in the oak trapdoor again. So 4 blocks in length in total. Now moving aft, we're going to measure from this block here to this block here right after the number 2 funnel. That's 12 blocks. This is basically a small motor house for the elevators. You can make that about this width. And then right in front of that is a small skylight. This is for the first class writing room. You can just mark that out like this. Here is a small kind of trunk storage space, and then here, make this 1 block wider. Going back here, that is 6 blocks in length. This is the main, like this big skylight for the first class staircase. And then finally here is the Marconi room. So that's all marked out. Actually make this 1 block smaller, works better in this scale. So yeah, let's bring this up. We can make that actually 2.5 blocks. And then on top as a roof, we can actually make that fully stone. Then the skylight, we can use blocks on the bottom and then slabs, blocks and slabs. Something along these lines here. And then the same here, but a little bit smaller. Blocks again, then slabs. Something along these lines. This trunk here in the middle you can just cover over with trapdoors. And then this little motor house for the elevators you can just cover up. Like this. Glass, like this. Then add trapdoors on top, like this. Oops. Next, there is a really large skylight here in the middle between these 2 funnels, the 3rd and 4th one. So that goes right after this funnel here, all the way back to this point, like this. And it is, I would say, 3 blocks tall. And then it is shaped like a barrel, it's called, so you want it to kind of curve up like that. So now I've stacked that all the way. Let's add in some skylights. We actually do just trapdoors this time, going almost all the way back. Not all the way, so it looks asymmetrical now, but this like aft section here didn't have any skylights. So something along these lines will work well. Next, there is pretty much the same size of skylight, but a little bit shorter in length. There is one here in between the number 4 funnel and these 2 engine skylights. And with this one, we're just basically going to do the same like we did in the forward ones. Just bring this up like that, and then just extend it all the way, like this pretty much. Let's move on to the engine room skylights. So what you want to do is you want to do a border of spruce planks, then do some stairs on the sides like this, and also in the middle like opposing each other like that. There we go. Add in some more spruce planks, and then do spruce slabs, and then yeah, fill it in basically. And you want to add in some glass on the sides, and then cover them up with trapdoors basically. That's basically it. And then let's move on to the skylight above the veranda cafe. Just want to bring this up here. I can do 1 more block up, and then do this. Oops, there we go. And then we want to add in some oak trapdoors, and then that's pretty much it. Alright, so let's move on to the stern deckhouse here. So measure 52 blocks from the end of the stern to this point, if you're in this scale that is, and do a skylight that is roughly this size. This is supposed to be white in quartz. You want something like this. You can use iron trapdoors because that fits better this color. That's that. Then let's do the same here. Measured from the end of the stern to this point, 28 blocks. Make the same width and height, but this is a little bit longer, as you can see here. And you want to bring this up 1 more block, and then bring these back, build this, and then finally add in the trapdoors. Now you want to do the same thing up here on the roof of the 2nd class lounge, so you can just copy this actually, it's the same size. Start from 38 blocks from the stern, and that's it. So you want it centered basically on this deck house. Now there are 2 engine room skylights here on either side of this skylight, so let's go back 1 block from this point and then go out 2 blocks. You want to bring this up. Unfortunately you can't really add any room inside due to the scale, but you want something roughly like this. Make it level with the 2nd class deck house like that, and you can also add in some trapdoors if you want. And let's get a debug stick like that. Copy this to the other side. And very annoyingly there was a vent on one of these but not the other, so asymmetric. Something I've forgotten to fix is actually to basically cut out a little bit of a section here in the deck. Basically something like this, and then bring this back here again. Like this, and then fix the railing here. The final skylight you want to do is 16 blocks from the stern. It's 3 by 3, and this is the steering gear skylight that leads down all the way to that area. Make it something like this, basically. Why don't we add the stern flag post? So this is just copied over from the Olympic class, basically, but yeah, looks like this. 3 blocks on each of these, and then I just added the flag and kind of made it wave a bit. So next you can add spruce bases around the funnels, so add the slabs to make them go up 1 block. Here on the shear you can just make it a block because it goes up automatically. Yeah, do this for all of the 4 funnels, like this. Now it's time to add in all of Lusitania's vents. So you can see here the forward one that is located on the bridge around this spot is actually white, unlike the other ones. So 3 blocks up, 2 by 2, and add a lid here on top that you can open like that. Then you continue on, they're in spruce wood. So 1 block forward of this funnel here, you build it like this, stripped spruce wood with slabs on top. Next one is here, and it's kind of in the middle in between the 2 funnels. From the base of this platform here, it is 9 blocks where it starts. Then this one is in the middle of this funnel. Next one is here, you can see, in relation to the skylight there. Then this one is in the middle of this funnel. Next one is in between these 2. This is the lounge inside, so it's right in the middle of these 2 alcoves, basically. This one is aligned with the forward end of the funnel, of the number 4 funnel. Then there is one here right in front of the hatch, and another one here that is a little bit higher. It's, yeah, let's make it 3 blocks instead, so a little bit taller. Then finally there's one here right at the end of the deck, and I just copy that over to the other side. There's also a vent here that is the same style as this one, but make it a little bit larger, make it something along these lines here. Let's do this, and let's add in some iron bars. So it's roughly something like this, and it's supposed to be aligned in the middle with the hatch here. And of course do all of these on both sides. Now that we've done all of the major detailing on the ship, it's time to get started on the rigging. Now you can use these plans, but the issue is they aren't really too accurate. It's mainly with the funnel rigging that's a little bit off in some places, so I will try to guide you through the correct places basically. And so we'll do the funnels first, and I will get to work on the mast rigging. So as you can see here, I've started laying out and marking out where all of the rigging is supposed to go. So we'll start with the funnels here, and we'll do it step by step. So what you want to do is you want to have 4 sets of tripwire hooks. 1 set here at the bottom of the top black section of funnels, and then on this first ring or rim underneath. So just space them out, something along these lines basically. So what you want to do is to mark out some blocks underneath like this, and then we'll do it step by step. So beginning with this one, you want to go to this point, roughly in between the vent here and the bridge wing, a little bit forward. So let's do a temporary sponge because it's funny. And then we want to do this one, that goes to here. Perfectly goes around the vent there, I love it. Then we want to do this one, and this goes to this point on the deck. This one goes down to here roughly, between these 2 lifeboats and a little bit forward of this vent. Then we have this one up here, goes to 2 blocks in this direction, so right next to that one. Then let's do this one here that goes to this point, right behind the ventilator here. Then you can do this one, goes to this point, and then this one goes to that point. Let's continue here with the second funnel. So we'll begin with this point, goes to here, and then this one to that one. So they're side by side like that. Then we do this one, goes to here. So that's right after where the deck goes up one step, like this. Then you have this one, goes down to roughly, yeah, here. Try and align it with the vent here. And this one goes to this point, while this point goes to here, pretty much after the vent here, so trying to align that up. We have this one, sort of like a little bit after the middle of this section here, goes to this point. And then this one is right beside the one we just did. Funnel 3, let's begin with this one, roughly to here, so maybe like a little bit into this skylight. And then this one is one above, so it's the same pattern as we have had before. We have, I forgot to mark that one out. This point goes to here, so it's a little bit aligned with the front of the funnel, while a little bit forward of this one on the deck here goes up to there. Then we have this point, goes to here, so a little bit behind this vent, and then aligned with that one on the deck is this one on top. Then we have these two here aligned with the second class or first class lounge, so we can begin with this one and that one, and this one and that one. Let's do the number 4 funnel. So again here, same pattern. This goes to that. You can see the aft alcove is where these falls are aligned, as you can see here, after this vent. Then we have this one, goes to that one. And then this aligns roughly around this vent. And then about 2 blocks back, we have this one. Then we have this, aligns with almost the end of the funnel on this deck. Then this one, that one, finally here, right in front of this vent, the smoke room skylight, next with this very aft one. And that's the funnel rigging done. I'm gonna flip this to the other side and replace it with glass panes. It's up to you if you want to connect them like this. I personally don't, because it looks a little bit too large in my opinion, so this works fine for me. You can also of course use blackstone buttons, those work as well. Alright, so let's move on to the rigging of the forward mast. So you want to begin with around this point here, like the very front of the bow, and then go all the way up from the top of the mast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you're working in this scale of course. That is the first line. We can actually do glass pane from the beginning now. That's the first one. Then we also have this, which connects to the same point. So you can keep that selected there. The next one is from this block going up to here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. There we go. You can do this one connecting to the funnel. So the top of the funnel connects with, yeah, it's the same level as this one here. Next, we want to do from this point, next with these 2 blocks, so that is dark oak fence, you know, this kind of climbable ladder type thing. We need to connect these together. We can do that in a bit, but yeah, let's just continue here. We have this one. There's 1 block in between each of these, by the way. So that one goes to here, while this one goes to here. That's basically it so far. So let me just connect these 2 together. What I ended up doing is I moved from this block to this one, so we have instead of 2 blocks wide, and then I just basically did like that, 1 line for each, and they're perfectly like right next to each other. So that's how I did that. Oh, and also you can add in the crow's nest here, so that's the same material as the rest of the mast, so just want that to look something like that. And then we can actually do this, so it sort of folds up. This is located from the top, 23 blocks, that's where the top part goes down, 3 blocks tall in total. And then to finish off here we have the main mast, and we'll begin with this point here, the second block from the top. Go to this point, right on the edge of the first class smoke room. Do a line here as well. And then do the same from this block, so they connect to the same point. Then you want to go down to here. Actually, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. And then that one is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 blocks. And it connects to here. It's kind of in the middle of these 2 skylights here. And then we have, we can begin with this one actually in the middle. So that goes to this block. So in this cutout thing we did before, like right in the middle almost. So like that, and then we connect or select the one to the left with the one on the top, so they connect like that. And then with here, you want the same thing as in the bow with the dark oak fence. Just do stuff like that basically, and then just connect these. Alright, so that's that flip to the other side. That's the aft mast rigging done. Next thing we want to do is go to the top here, select this block, go out 4 like this, and then replace these blocks with stripped birch, and then do this basically. So replace that with glass, and then you want to mark out these 2 points, go all the way to the forward mast, then do the exact same thing, and then just connect these 2 points in between. So that's the wireless cables added. And now we're going to connect these to the Marconi room itself. So you have this point here in the middle, mark out this here, go all the way up, and connect it to both of them. Like this basically. There we go. Last detail I'll add is this little anchor crane here in the bow. So in the scale it is 9 blocks from the bow, go 2 blocks up with the direct walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 with stairs, upside down stairs, and then 3 smooth quartz slabs. We kind of have to raise the rigging here a bit to get around it, just be aware of that. But yes, that concludes the Lusitania tutorial, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one, which will probably be the Mauritania conversion. So, bye bye.